So in order to do this, I talked to you about how to use the area model to solve it. I want to write the problem down though. So let's go ahead and write 3 times 2.5. And there's 2 ways to solve this. We can draw an area model and multiply it out in the area model. And I think I'll do that right over here, okay? So this area model is going to have 3 on the top, 2, and 1/2. Okay, so go ahead and draw that area model. And in an area model, remember, we multiply. So 2 times 3, and 1/2 times 3 would be 3/2, correct? Which is 1.5. So if I add 6 plus 1.5, 7.5. So the area model is one way to solve it, and I really like it. And I really like it when the problems get harder. If I want to solve this numerically, do you remember what we did yesterday?
No.
I'm going to add 2 multiplication problems together. So go ahead and write this down. And I'm going to start with my whole numbers, 3 times 2. And 3 times 1/2. So that would be 6 plus 3/2, which is what? 6 plus 1.5 equals 7.5. That's a lot more writing than this, but it's the exact same concept. You just write it differently, okay? For me, I like the area model to organize my fractions and my whole numbers. Over here, I separated fractions and whole numbers, but I did it in parentheses. Okay, let's do the next one. So here's the next one. Rectangle B. So it looks like it's 2 1/4 units long. And for this activity, remember, the length is on the top and the width is on the side. Okay? So 2 1/4 units long. Are you writing this? By 4 units wide. Okay, now I'm going to erase this W and solve it with the area model first, okay? So what do I have here? 2 1/4 by 4. So everybody write that down. This one's going to be really simple. Okay, so 4 times 2 is what? And 4 times 1/4 is? 4/4 or 1/2. So the answer is? 9. Okay, so now let's write the problem and solve it numerically. Remember, it's going to be 2 multiplication problems that I add together. So help me out here. What should I multiply first? 2 times 4. And then 1/4 times 4. And that gives me 8 plus 4/4, which equals what? 9. Okay, how you doing?
Good.
Am I going too fast? A little bit? Okay, so I'll slow down. So here's rectangle C. They didn't draw it for us, and that's fine, because we're going to solve it using the area model, okay? So we have 3/4 by 4. So remind me how to do this. When I multiply a fraction times a whole number, do I multiply the denominator? No. So the numerator times the whole number. So this would be 12/4, which is actually a division problem, isn't it? 12 divided by 4 equals 3. And I'm just going to write 12/4 here. That was even more simple, wasn't it? Okay, let's look at the next page. Rectangle D. Okay, let's just draw an area model. The 2's at the top. 1 3/4 on the side. Okay, so I've got 1 times 2 and 3/4 times 2, 6/4, which equals 1 2/4, which equals 1 1/2. Very good. So the answer to this? 3 1/2. Good. And what would this look like to solve it numerically? So 2 times 1 3/4 is going to be 2 multiplication problems I add together. So go ahead and write this down. I'm going to do 2 times 1 and 2 times 3/4. And we kind of already know, don't we, that it's going to be 2 plus 6/4, which equals 3 1/2. Okay. So how you doing with that method? Because that's what you're going to use on the exit ticket. And I'll get you started on the exit ticket, then you can just solve it. Okay? All right. We good? Okay, we're going to do this problem. Rachel made a mosaic from different colored rectangle tiles. 3 tiles measured 3 1/2 inches by 3 inches. 6 tiles measured 4 inches by 3 1/4 inches. What is the area of the whole mosaic in square inches? Okay, so 3 times what? 3 1/2 by 3, correct? And 6 times 4 times 3 1/4. Those are the 2 problems I need to solve, okay? So not only do I have to do area, then I have to take the answer times 3 and the answer times 6. All right, so help me out here. You want to use area model or solve it numerically with 2 sets of parentheses? Okay, so on this one, let's draw an area model. And it's going to be 3 1/2 by 3. For this one, it's going to be 4 times 3 1/4. So get both of those written down. All right, so let's solve the first one. 3 times 3, 3 times 1/2,
3 halves,
which equals,
1 1/2.
so the answer to this one is, and I'm just going to write it right there. Okay, we'll take that times 3 here in a minute. Now we've got 4 times 3
12.
and 4 times 1/4.
4.
Ooh, I like it when that happens, don't you? So the total here is,
13.
oh, why did I write 5? The total here is,
13.
all right. So now I'm going to take 6 times 13. That's simple, right? Standard algorithm. Everybody write it down and figure it out. Okay, that's fine. So 78 square inches here, right? And 3 times 10 and a half. We got to do that. This won't be hard. Area model? What do you think? So 10 and a half. 10 times 3? 30. A half times 3? 3 halves, which equals 1 and a half. So the answer here, 31 and a half square inches. And how do I get the total? Add it. So I'm going to add 78. And I'm just going to bring down my half, don't you think?
Yeah.
Okay. And then that's 9. So what do we have? 109 and a half square inches. That was a good problem. Oh, I like these. One more and then we'll go to the exit ticket. A garden box has a perimeter of 27 and a half feet. If the length is 9 feet, what is the area of the garden box? Okay, this is tricky. So here's what we know, okay? We know the length is 9 feet. What do we know about rectangles? Some sides are longer than others. What about opposite sides? Are they equal?
Yeah.
Yes. So those are both 9 feet. These other two, the left and the right, are also equal. Okay, what's my perimeter? 27 and a half. No, we're not. That's, okay. Perimeter is the distance around. So, quit whistling. So if I have 18 feet that I know about, I got to figure out the rest of it, okay? I'm going to take my total perimeter minus what I know. Now, Aiden, you were thinking that they gave us area, and if that were the case, then yes, we would divide, okay? But this time we're going to subtract. So what do I get here? 9 and a half. So here's what I know. I know that side A plus side B equal 9 and a half when I add them together. Now this is what I showed the kids yesterday on a problem like this. Okay, so we've got 9 and a half, correct? I'm going to do it like that for a visual. Okay, what plus what equals 9? That's 3 times 4 and a half plus 4 and a half, right? So I'm actually going to put decimals here because it's faster to write. But it means the same thing. So that gives me 9, okay? But I need 9 and a half. So I got to add a little bit onto this side and add a little bit onto this side. And then it'll give me 9 and a half. So these two put together need to be a half. So what plus what equals a half? 1/4. Okay, so what's 4 and a half plus 1/4? 4 and 3/4. So here's what we know now. We know that both of these are 4 and 3/4. Now the question says, what is the area of the garden box? So now what do I have to do? Multiply length times width, right? Okay, so if I do length times width, what's my problem going to be? 9 times 4 and 3/4. I got to solve that problem right there. Hopefully you left more room than I did to write. I'm going to erase this stuff so I can solve it, okay? You want to use the area model? Solve it numerically? I think we'll do both because I want you to do both on the exit ticket, okay? So here's my problem. 9 times 4 3/4. Whoops. Okay, and numerically, I'm going to add 2 multiplication problems together. Area model, I'm also going to add 2 multiplication problems together. So go ahead and get all those written down. So let's take a look at this. I feel like I just did 9 times 4, did I? 36. 3/4 times 9 would be what?
27.
27 fourths. Did anybody figure out what that is as a mixed number? Go ahead.
6 3/4.
6 3/4. Okay, so now I'm ready to add 36 plus 6. 42 and 3/4 square feet. Now we keep getting these problems about the garden box, and it's a coincidence because my daughter and I are going to build some of these this spring, probably like over the Easter break. Okay, so solving it numerically is basically the same thing. Yeah, I hope we can get it done in 4 days. 9 times 3/4 gives us 36 plus 27 fourths, which equals what? 42 and 3/4. Okay, tell me the truth. Which one is your favorite, the area model or the 2 sets of parentheses? I agree, and I don't know why I like it so much better, but it's just simpler for me. All right, good job. Let's take a look at the exit ticket. Okay, so this is pretty simple. All you have to do is draw an area model and solve it. Should we do it both ways? No. Just one way. So I've got 2.5 times 2. That should be pretty simple. Bring it to me when you're done.